Okay, so these are some of the books that I added to my virtual library. Um, More than a couple of these I was able to rent from the library, and some of them I did, I bought in the past. And there's, a whole bookshelf of books that I haven't read yet. And I think I currently have books from like little kids' books to older books. I just picked some of those to read, um, so that I wouldn't have to spend more money. Um, for the first group, the contemporary realistic fiction, the book that I liked the most was The Lovely Bones. I think that was probably because it's more towards my age group, even though I'm technically not a teenager, but I'm kind of like a young adult. The other two books were more of middle school books, which is what I tried to do. I would try to read books that are for either kids, middle schoolers, or more teenage, young adult readers. The next group, my two favorite books were, well, three, I guess. I liked My Name is Yoon, The Too Many Tamales, and The Esperanza Rising. Of course, they were all interesting. I think, no, I think the Tamales one was my favorite, mainly because I could really relate to it. Out of the fantasy books, um, Ender's Game, I think it was a movie that I'd seen only a part of, and I'd always wanted to read the book. So when I actually read the book, and it was actually way better than the movie. Um, A Wind in the Door, that one's good too, and I do know that they're coming out with a movie for that one. So I'm interested to see how they portray all the characters in that one. Um, for historical fiction, my favorite one is The Book Thief, and I do know there's a movie out on that one. I still haven't seen it though because I wanted to read the book first. I also found The Number of the Stars was interesting because it was by an author that we had read a book from earlier in the semester. For the informational books, I think the most interesting was A Child Called It. The one that I would use for maybe the kids is more of the electrical wizard because it involves science and a little bit of history mixed in with the literature. So I think that'd be fun for students to read. The poetry books, I liked them all. There were ones that I, of course, haven't seen before, haven't read before. Science fiction. All of the books were really good. The I think they're all kind of like not post-apocalyptic, but like different worlds where there's a bunch of rules. Yeah. Well, the first two, the testing and Among the Hidden, were like that. I know the fifth wave was during an attack, but they're all interesting to read. And I think I actually have for Among the Hidden. I think I have the rest of the series too somewhere. So that'll be interesting to read. Um, the last book, set of books. These ones are interesting. These were actually all mainly kids' books. The Something from Nothing, that folktale, is actually similar to another book that I had read earlier. I think it was Joseph's Trenchcoat. So it's interesting to see it told with different characters. And I think this one was, I think, a grandfather and his grandson, whereas the Joseph's Trenchcoat was just a guy. I think overall, most of these books would be pretty good for teaching. Um, at least the ones that were for the little kids, because I think, yeah, that's it.